dive bars and cocktail bars, and all of those can serve a very important function in a neighborhood.
How much of that is the lifeblood of your business, just relationships?
Almost all of it, really. We've found ways to do that during the pandemic as well.
What was the conversation that you guys had, you and your wife and your staff on that day?
We actually struggled with it a week before we were shut down. It just didn't feel right. We just didn't know anything about this virus. And so we actually struggled with that for almost a solid week before we finally shut it down. We were initially most concerned about our staff. Unemployment doesn't even come close to touching your actual bills. So we wanted to be able to take care of them as best we could, but we couldn't just be like, well, we got you. After that, it shifted to, okay, we've got the employees are taken care of. And then we heard reports of actually people that were in our bar the weekend before we shut down that actually ended up in the hospital. So it was present in our bar at the time. So that was also a concern early on. The second part of it was like applying for all the things that were available to us. We were really grateful that there was a $600 supplemental attachment to unemployment for our employees, because that brought their weekly wages up to close to what they were making before, which is great.
I was going to ask about the PPP loans. Can you talk to me about the process?
It came late for bars and restaurants that had to like pretty much shut down immediately. We got about $32,000. The thing that could have been better, I guess, and in retrospect, they probably would have done it, would have been just like, here is just grant money, just being able to spend that money that you get on however you need to keep the doors open. That's going to keep the jobs in the future.
How frustrated are you with how the federal government has dealt with stimulus talks?
On so many levels, absolutely, it's egregious. How is that a thing where individual governors are in charge of a pandemic? Like, then to hold up stimulus as some way ahead of an election to try to get what you want, it's ridiculous. It costs so many more lives, and so many more businesses are going to fail, and they're going to blame their local governors for it. Congress failed to act.
Do you think that bars are maybe just not conducive to the pandemic, or is it really individuals?
There was a whole disinformation campaign. There's bars in our town that had all the options, and they still chose to hang their hat on, this is just fake, and we're going to try to get all these people who just want to return to normal right away. People came into our bar because we were safe. So we did take out when we were shut down. We worked with the city and the state to relax the to-go restrictions.
In June, we did allow some of that reopening.
We did a great business in June, and it felt safe and comfortable. We had no last call restrictions. Our patio was almost full all night long. It just kept getting whittled down from there. I ended up working 7 days a week, 11, 12-hour days, just putting all of that money back into our business, because I figured that we were probably going to be shut down now.
How much have you guys prepared ahead for this winter?
We cut as much as we could.
How much do you blame government?
That's the thing. It's like, what are they supposed to do? It was just one of those things that unfortunately it was way too late. These people who are just like, I'm going to do what I want to do, forget the government. That's not the message. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and substitute that with forget small businesses, because that's essentially what they're doing. It doesn't matter what you think about this virus. It's going to show you what it really is. It's going to overwhelm the hospitals. And once that happens, that 99.5% survival rate everyone likes to talk about is going to drop way down.
It's frustrating because it seems as though the people who want to reopen, who are saying we need to get businesses back, are missing the point that the way we get there is by wearing a mask.